Yes, for the last few classes, we have been talking about maternity child health services, that is antenatal care, antenatal care during delivery, postnatal care, neonatal care, and baby-friendly hospital initiatives. Many topics we have discussed so far, and still there are some topics are left, because our aim is to see that from the maternity child health care, from the womb into at least 5 years. That is our motto. That's why after infant, you need to monitor the growth and development of the child. So, what is growth and what is development? These two are different times, though it appears to be similar. Growth is something we can see in the child. He grows, he puts on weight, and then the movements of the child will be increasing day by day. It is quite apparent. The mother will definitely be able to feel the change in the baby. And of course, in addition to that, we have behavioral changes. So, what actually determines this growth and development? There are some determinants. For instance, genetics is very important role to play in the person's height, weight, features, to some extent the mannerisms, all these things, they come from the genetics. You see, even today, some of the families, particularly towards rural area, where you have some families, generations together, you have a fair skin, tall, good features, and that will be maintained from generation to generation. Particularly if you see the history, our rulers, kings, usually when compared to other people, physically they will be definitely, they show some difference from the normal population, because the genetics and family tree was being maintained for a long time, generations together. That's why the genetics as families, they have certain features. Number two, the nutrition. Another important factor is nutrition. Unless and until you provide necessary quantity of and quality of nutrition throughout the life, particularly during child age, the growth will be retarded. It can be retarded in the shape of emaciation or stunting. So, in many ways, the growth can be affected if there is no proper nutrition. A little while we will come to the nutrition, that is actually the important topic today. And the environment in which they are living. You see, a baby in a slum, for instance, you take a baby in a slum. Number one, the environment is insanitary conditions. There will be flies, there will be mosquitoes, there will be other worms, etc. The child is constantly exposed. The water is likely to be contaminated by certain bacteria and virus. Child will be having diarrhea. Child will be having fever. So, because of these health effects, basing on the environment, because he has no capability or no opportunity to grow in a beautiful, in a very healthy environment, because they are poor. Their environment is also poor. Adding to that, you have open defecation, lack of personal hygiene. There is no sufficient water for regular bathing and every time washing the hands. So naturally, whatever the little food mother provides to the child will become contaminated and it will reflect in diarrhea, dysentery, fevers, and all these things. So, food also plays, environment also plays very important. And of course, the economic status. How do you get the economic status unless and until your per capita income is raised? Your earnings are meager, particularly in rural areas where urban slums where people are migrated from the villages in search of employment, and they get some sort of job where they get some 300 or 400 rupees a day. And they have to live in this particular environment and limit all their wants like food, comfort, etc. So children are also being affected when compared to the people, children living in the posh areas and where there's a protected environment. So, environment. So these are some of the important factors. Illiteracy is another problem. You see, the mothers who have been migrated from rural area to the cities and living in urban areas, as long as they were in the villages, their children used to get regular immunization. If not something else, the definite thing in any village, any child will get the national immunization schedule in a perfect way, because number one, they will be conducting regular immunization sessions in fixed centers, and also some people are not totally covered. They will go to houses and also search for the child, and then because there is a card, according to the card, they search the child and give immunization. And what happens when they migrate to the urban area? The poor mother do not know that all the vaccines given now to the child will be protecting in future. Will be protecting in future because she has no knowledge. Their dire need and necessity and the particular time is only food, earning for food. So naturally, what happens is when they migrate to the slums, urban areas, they do not know where are the centers. There will be nobody to come to the house, and then a new child has been entered into this particular place, so immediately we have to register and issue a card, immunization card, or a card is already with the mother from the rural area, and take the card and enter into the register. All the immunizations so far have been covered, and what are the due immunizations that are to be given should be scheduled and regularly they are followed. But that particular thing is not happening because of lack of education and illiteracy and indifference to the health. So these are some of the important determinants which decide the nutrition of the child particularly. So we have to monitor. Important thing here, what it is, you have to monitor the growth of the child in two ways. Number one, physically how he is growing. And number two, how behaviorally he is growing. That is his intellectual and social development. What is his discrimination power? Is able to recognize the things. So these are all some of the behavioral things which are like a software. It cannot be seen, cannot be immediately perceived with mother. But you slowly observe. Some others will be telling that even after 1 year of first year, the child is not able to utter certain words, or amma, such words, the child is not able to. Like that, they will be complaining because mother closely follows the child. As far as the physical growth is concerned, we have certain charts. We prepare certain charts because child grows by weight and height. We have weight and height charts as a reference. Weight and height. Of course, WHO has taken a lot of interest to develop a uniform sort of schedule in the weight and height as per the growth. But you see, we cannot generalize it. The problem is most of the times we want this particular chart for low socioeconomic status, but not for the high economic status, because they will definitely be going to good clinics and nursing homes. Their way of living is something different in urban areas. And we cannot compare with them, but average child in middle income group and lower middle income group, and then people living in urban areas, slums, etc. We must develop our own charts. Our own charts. In this particular aspect, actually, Indian Council of Medical Research, in consultation with the WHO, made a lot of progress, and they have made charts. Number one, general growth of the chart, and what is the mental development? What is the weight for age? What is height for age? What is weight for height? You see, in so many ways, they have prepared charts, particularly month-wise for 60 months, that is 5 years. So they made already charts, and these charts are what is called reference values, where somebody should, a doctor should always keep by himself. And when child comes, usually the first thing the receptionist what does is, what is the age of the child, and immediately take the weight and height of the child. Then in pediatric clinics we have been seeing, then along with the record, the child will be presenting before the doctor. So what is the recommended, what is expected weight at that particular age, and what is the height at that particular age? These all, printed in the schedules, is no necessity for us to remember those things. accept at first year what are the height and weight, and then after then second year what are the measurements, and then finally at fifth year what are the various measurements. And in between, if you want accuracy, we have developed certain charts with the assistance of the ICMR, then also medical research. You see in the x-axis, we have percentage of growth, and in x-axis, it is growth after age in years, and y-axis, we have percentage of development and overall development. You see, as per these charts, yes, these charts, they are available in the PARC textbook. You can go through it. But just for reference, for the introduction, I have just prepared these charts. You'll be surprised to know that at the age of 6th year, the brain development takes place maximum brain development takes place. And then physical growth at the age of very young age, we call it puberty, maybe 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, there's a spurt of this puberty, and immediately children become stop. Immediately they will catch up as far as the height is concerned. And like that, the general development also, after puberty, it slowly grows, the length will be increasing, growth will be increasing, and intelligence and emotional intelligence, all those things are also will be increasing. By, you see, the child attains 20 years. Recently, they have changed the definition also. Of course, it has been not included in the textbooks and all. Now, the child is not up to 14 years. We have increased the child is up to 18 years. Probably within a short period, we will get that modified definition. That's why today we are advising to have conception and child birth only after 20 years. Why? By 20 years, the physical growth of the ossification of bones, the mental growth, development, everything will be completed, and the person, either female or male, totally mature. They can take their own decisions. For instance, particularly in career, education career, what to study, what specialization must be done, in which direction I have to go for the studies. All these things, 20 years means they will be able to look after themselves without causing much inconvenience to the parents, because you see nowadays these studies, number of subjects, new subjects are coming. Today there is banking. In banking sector itself, as far as my knowledge goes, is of ours. We think there is a manager and then there will be some clerks in the bank. And transactions should be going. Only thing is deposit the money or take the money. Only these two transactions, But today, in the banking sector, the international banking, and then recently financial engineering. You see, they have introduced engineers into the banking system. Why? Because the science students will have that analytical capacity. A person who is excellent in mathematics, physics, etc., the humanities, history, and then economics, these are all nothing for him. Nothing for him. In no time, if we give certain calculations, within no time, we'll immediately be able to answer the question. Now, the banking sector has grown to that extent as if somebody comes for loan, they'll be able to assess whether this person can repay the loan. And at the same time, these banks are supported by the Reserve Bank and other higher bodies. And to help this particular bank, there are so many private banks, corporate banks. Can it survive? What sort of loans it is giving? Are those loans are recoverable? And all these things, this financial engineering people will do. So that's why there are so many specializations now coming. And as a parents, at least of our age, we are not able to direct them. When it comes to the question of my own sons, I said, if you study medicine, I can direct you. I can show some way to you. If you take some engineering course and other courses which are not well known to the society, at least I cannot decide. It is up to you. Of course, they have gone the subjects of their choice. They have come up with like it's not a problem. But what I'm telling you is, now today the things are such a complicated. So now for the development, first of all, wait for age. We shall see. See, we can measure the child weight every 2 months. In fact, in ICDA centers, every month they will take the weight. But for our purpose at a glance, if you take the weight at the completion of the first year, the average weight of a boy will be 9.6 kg, whereas girl child it will be 8.9 kg. Of course, there are 2 standard deviations toward this side and that side. You can accept. And that too, it is not the mean weight, it is the median weight. What statisticians are telling us in some of the calculations like this height or weight, we cannot take mean value. Median is much better than mean value. That's why they are finding out median for this particular weight for the age. And at the first year, by the end of the first year, boys should have 9.6 kg and girl has 8.9 kg. Like that, second year, boys will attain a weight of 12.2 kg and girl will get 11.5 kg. And at the end of the 60th month, that is 5 years, the boy gets 18.3 kg weight and the girl gets 18.2 kg weight. So this is normal, what is growth of the child. So what happens is the graph goes like that. There is no fall anywhere. Smoothly it is going. That means at least particularly the child is physically not suffering from any disease, not suffering from any malnutrition. Things are going on well. Whatever the sort of program implemented by the government is well utilized. So by measuring the weight, we can easily come to a conclusion of the problem. On the same lines, if we take the height of the child, at the end of the first year, you see the boys will have about 75.7 centimeters and girls will have 74 centimeters. Just a little change. boys will be have a more height than girls. On the same line, if you measure at the end of the second year, 87.8 centimeters is the height of the boy and 86.4 centimeters will be the girl height. And at the end of the fifth year, if you see, the boy will reach 110 centimeters and the girl reaches 1.9, 109 centimeters. Usually, of course, the further grow in height and weight, both the things after 5 years. Why we are confined to only 5 years? Ours is this particular topic is for maternity child health services. Though we take the child up to 14 years or 18 years, whatever it may be, various programs and the importance is given to this formative age. This is what is called formative age. They are totally dependent, so they cannot go anywhere except they always run around the mother. And the mother only has to take care of them. For the child, after 5 years, you see, if they join in school, there is a midday meal program. If they cross beyond the schooling and go to college, there are social welfare hostels for poor people and some of the socially backward classes. We have hostels where you will be given food, shelter, food. So, our aim is to confine up to 5 years maternity child health services. And we have to see that child grows normal. Now, sometimes there may be little change. Graph, it may not be exactly going up like that. At some places, it may come down like this. Maybe on that particular event, child must be suffering from some diarrhea, some sort of fever, and nutrition is disturbed. That's why that particular time, the weight is, it shows some change in it. Usually, weight will say is very sensitive indicator. The height cannot be changed so easily. It takes some time. Whereas weight is very sensitive. It responds to the change in the health of the child. So, for our reference, if you take the weight, up to 3 months, the child will be putting 200 grams up to 3 months. From 4 to 6 months, he puts about 150 grams. And 7 to 9 months, 100 grams. 10 to 12 months, 50 to 75 grams. Like that, there is an increment in the weight of the child. 1 to 2 years, 2.5 kg, and 3 to 5 years, about 2 kg, they will put in the weight. As far as the length is concerned, first year, 2.5 centimeters. This shows the growth from the birth increment. Then in second year, about 12 centimeters. In third year, about 9 centimeters. And in fourth year, about 7 centimeters. Fifth year, about 6 centimeters. This is very useful for particularly monitoring of the weight by the pediatrician. Particularly in rural areas, Anganwadi workers and health workers is very important. Because the earliest possible time they will be able to refer the case to the higher authorities. First of all, they try to correct the thing. Say, there is diarrhea child for a period of some 15 days, he could not attend the supplementary nutrition program. That's why this change might have happened. So I will substitute more food now frequently, small food, by giving regularly, by giving highly nutritious food. I think by the next next month visit, you will definitely be reaching and cope up with the loss what has already occurred. So then there is no necessity for bringing this child to notice of a pediatrician or other specialists. If it is not corrected, then only it is an earliest indication to refer the child. So that is the importance of this height for age and weight for age, and increments of height from month to month are important. And another thing we talked about the development, behavioral development, social development, intelligence development. The child grows and develops. How he develops? By utilizing his cognitive function, which is the domain of the brain and mind. So, by application of that consciousness, that knowledge, that memory, child learns certain small skills, looking like this, and remembering the mother. And all of a sudden, a new person comes, suspicious, looking at the person. If the child wants something, start weeping. If he wants to catch a particular object with a very coordinated movement. In the beginning, it is very clumsy. You see, he tried to take a glass of milk or water, but what happens is he throws the glass because there is no coordinated and fine movements have not developed. So these fine movements also develop. This is again development. And social development. We say after some time, child will be able to, in the beginning, he will not have control over his bladder and bowel, and mother has to look after. Slowly, over a period of time, he will learn that this is the dirty thing which I should tell my mother so that she will take me to the toilet. And every child have got their own way of reminding the mother to go to the toilet. Mother will take the child to the toilet. After finishing thing, and baby will be bring back into the house. So these are all social, intellectual development, for which we usually have milestones of development. Why we call these milestones is we ourselves, by observing in our own country, in our own area, the children will be doing certain things 3rd month, 6th month, 7th month, 12th month, 2 years, 5 years, like that, gradually. Because already we have these reference activities, already we know these activities. We try to apply to our child and see whether he is doing that or not. Sometimes mother will be terribly afraid that the child is not able to stand. Even after he is completed 1 year and the child is not able to stand, something wrong has happened. The child, mother, so naturally she will be perturbed. And the child is not able to utter words, will he become dumb, like that. Child, mother will be will have a lot of concern for the child. So for that, we made a beautiful chart, the Indian Council of Medical Health, and then probably WHO Health Wing. they made a table. So, in Anganwadi Center or in our PSCs, what they do is they will try to see that the things are conforming to the standards given in the milestones development chart. For instance, 6 to 8 weeks after birth, the child will be looking at the mother. It doesn't know anybody. Child always will be looking at the mother. He takes breast milk. He doesn't need anything except passing motion and urine. Mother will be taken care of. When the child is hungry, immediately he goes to the breast and try to suckle the breast. And he will be able to see the mother and recognize. If you go to 3 months, the child will be able to lift his head and keep it like this, usually. Head holding is what it's called, head holding at 3 months. 4 to 5 months, he recognizes the mother. If some third person or some second person who is unknown to him comes to him, he will be suspicious. He will not go into their hands. He will be suspicious. Likewise, from 6 to 8 months, the child will be able to sit without support. Without support. 9 to 10 months, he starts slowly crawling. Slowly crawling. That's a very important physical the milestone of development. That's what mothers can easily observe. What they observe is whether the child is able to hold his head, whether the child will be able to crawling or not, whether the child will be able to stand, whether the child will be able to run, or at least he is able to call Amma. So for these things, they will be looking after. And as a specialist, we must know the other things also. If there is some change, you must verify all these things and console the mother, give a sort of consoling words to the mother. Don't get perturbed. Don't worry. It happens. Next month, definitely the child will be able to crawl. Don't get disheartened. So like that, we have to guide them. To guide them, we have to learn all these things. If you see 12 to 14 months, the child will be able to stand and broad base walking. Both the legs, he keeps in broad base and try to stand and try to walk. The same thing when 18 to 21 months, he will be able to stand narrow, that is both the soles, both the foot can be put together and will be able to stand without wagging and other things. By the end of the second year, he will be able to run. He will speak short sentences, Amma, Nana, like that, small words and small sentences. He will be able to utter. So these are the very important milestones of development. This, of course, we have in the book. If you just go through it, you will have good grasp of these things. And the Indian government had developed a growth chart, where the chart is prepared in such a way that looking from at a glance, you will be able to see the condition of the child. You will be able to how the child is progressing. And why that chart is very important is if there is problem with the child, wherever you go, either to the government hospital or a private hospital, if you show this chart, definitely doctor will be able to give a good treatment. And WHO made a chart which is not applicable to us. So, Indian Council of Medical Research, with the assistance of the WHO, they have made for boys and girls 2 charts. And the charts, they are limited up to only 3 months, 3 years, only up to 3 years. So that will be sufficient. After there was some calculation, I don't know how they 1,000 years, 1,000 days, starting from womb to the end of the 3rd year, the days are approximately 1,000 days. So if you be careful these 1,000 days, the children will be properly grow and develop, and you will be able to find any change in this, immediately take to the medical help. We can bring back the child to the normals. So this particular chart, growth chart, boys and girls, there is no much change. They have divided into 3 zones: safe zone, critical zone, highly critical zone. Only basing on the weight. As I have already told you, that weight is the most sensitive indicator. Basing on that, we have prepared those charts. Those charts are available in the book. It is available in art textbook. So the weight at 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. We put small dots and see, compare with the original chart, where it has fallen, in which zone that weight is fallen. If it is safe zone, okay. The second zone, wait for some time. The PHC staff or doctor will be able to correct it. If not, you may have to take to pediatrician. And the third zone means is critical and highly essential to be looked after only with a specialist. Only by a specialist. All these nutrition supplementation programs sometimes not in a position to help. Because what happens is, while preparing this chart, a responsibility is given to the Anganwadi teacher and ANM. You need not wait till the child goes into protein energy malnutrition. Even mild nutritional defects, they have established nutritional rehabilitation centers in the district hospitals. The reason being, you can treat in the home itself, but the child may take a lot of time, during which his cognitive development may be retarded. That's why immediately anything happens to the child is an emergency. Immediately you have to return. So in the nutritional rehabilitation centers, such a wonderful work from this National Rural Health Mission, National Rural Urban Health Mission. They are providing funds with the coordination of the pediatrics department, and they are given a wing by the side of the pediatric department, where one teacher will be appointed. She will purchase all the highly nutritious foods like milk and then pulses and then egg. Egg is the most important. Eggs. They are highly protein foods. And government made such an arrangement that along with the child, the father of the child and mother of the child can also will be provided accommodation and also food, free food till the child discharged from the this particular center, nutritional rehabilitation center. The teacher herself will have a cook, and they will cook the food and supply to the child in the presence of the parents. So that child will consume the food within a short time. He will be able to put on weight. So these sort of arrangements are there. But you see, in our country, once upon a time, 3 to 4 decades ago, 50% children are malnourished. We have an independent survey, National Family Health Survey. The third survey is way back conducted in 2005. And then I think 2015, National Family Health Survey, another fourth survey, third survey and fourth survey. The surveys are so independent and so reliable that the underweight children are about 50 various grades. You see, when they come to the National Family Health Survey 4, there was only a reduction of 10% in spite of all these efforts. Only 10%. Still there are 40% of children in malnutrition, various degrees. May not be protein energy malnutrition like kwashiorkor and marasmus, which was prevalent long ago. But now they are, because there are some micronutrients, we are not able to supplement. The wonderful part about this micronutrition is, for a long time, children, control of diet has become a problem, particularly in rural areas. What we usually advise is oral rehydration fluid, because intravenous fluid is a little bit difficult to look at the weight, number one. Number two, if you do not give correct quantity of IV fluid after calculation, what happens is easily the child will have acid-base imbalance. And then it will be very difficult, we cannot say. Always it is safe to give oral rehydration. It was an important finding that if you provide zinc, what happens is gut will be able to produce a lot of mucus and control the diarrhea. That's a micronutrient. For a long time we did not know. And how this magnesium came into the picture also we don't know. Who has invented this particular micronutrient which will be helpful in the diet of the children. So today in primary health centers, the standard treatment is oral rehydration along with the zinc tablets. So in a magnitude of our country, there will be millions of children, and children will be in millions. 5 years age group children. You see, anywhere you take total population, 11% will be under 5 children. There are 100 population, will be 10 children will be there, under 5 children. So these children, to reach these children is very difficult. It's a very Herculean task. But we must appreciate the Women and Child Department. First of all, it was taken care of by the Social Welfare Department, because their works are varying works and they cannot spend time on this. And it is not pertaining to their particular job, because their work is to see the social status of people and try to provide loans and then provide certain financial support or distributing in kind some of the things. So that is the department is not nowhere much concerned with this particular aspect. So this aspect was taken by Minister of Women and Child Welfare Department. And today their main work is only to look after the mother and children from conception to the delivery up to 6 years. It is their responsibility. And their modus operandi and their work reflected in the community through ICDS, Integrated Child Development Service Scheme, and Anganwadi Center. Anganwadi Center is such a popular center now today, particularly in India. It is providing nutrition to pregnant mothers, postnatal mothers, children, adolescent mothers, and 15 to 45 age group women, even though they are neither pregnant women or postnatal. They also can come to that particular center, and all of them will be provided with certain calories and proteins. You know, if you supply one egg, it can produce 15 grams of protein. And you know, the available protein, egg protein is the best protein, is a reference value of protein. It will immediately be absorbed without any residue. It is a non-residual food. Entirely it goes to the development of the physical body of the child or adults. So they are giving eggs, they are providing hot food. There itself, they will cook the rice, they cook the dal or sambar. So these hot foods along with an egg, they will be served, because in the previous days they used to distribute milk. See, milk is subjected to a lot of mischief, lot of preference. It can be diluted, it can be adulterated. So many things can happen, and nobody is there to check that, because their number is so much, nobody will be able to control. If you supply an egg, there is nothing. So you boil the egg, so there is no place for any corruption. That exact number, the mother will be able to ask the Anganwadi teacher. You see, alternate days you are giving it. On the day of the egg distribution, you see the children and mothers gathering at the center, this ICDS center. A lot of bustling activity, because mother also receives and child also receives an egg. There is no place for preference. And at the same time, they also cook food, sambar and dal, that also will be served. Approximately each person will be getting 500 kilocalories of energy. We cannot provide entire food, but you see, its name itself is supplementation. The supplementation is not a normal supplement. 500 kilocalories of energy, particularly in children. Half of the energy is almost met in the center itself, Anganwadi center. So the important center through which all these services are being provided for the mother and child is Anganwadi center. In Anganwadi center, you will have a teacher. Anganwadi center will be provided, at least if there are 40 children in a particular area, immediately an Anganwadi center will be opened. And in the center, 0 to 6 group children will get the supplementation feeding. Pregnant mothers will be getting feeding. Postnatal mothers will be getting feeding. And 15 to 45 years of age women, in addition to the adolescent girls. Adolescent girls. These people will be getting. Of course, in some states there is some disturbance, and always there are some criticisms. You see, and this they are doing some peripherals, they are not distributing the eggs properly, and all these things will be there. But you see, the National Family Health Survey reports recently. The government, central government has got a Poshan Abhiyan, a very new program, where they will prepare a Poshan atlas. Because of these problems, you see, they will prepare an atlas where, as per the area is concerned, there will be some good nutritious crops will be available. It will be easy to get them. In case of fruits, you have banana or sitafal or sapota. All these things are very easy to get. If you want to get an apple from North India, see, there's nothing in apple except carbohydrate and probably iron. But in Goa, you have more than that nutritive food value. So Goa, everywhere it is available. Purchase a Goa and distribute to children. They are like that. In Poshan Abhiyan, they are preparing a chart, Poshan Abhiyan chart. So in a short while, we will have area-wise what are the foods that are available easily to the particular area of children. So those things will be provided. And of course, in the beginning, it was totally central government program. And now, because probably there is a financial crunch, the center is asking to contribute 50% of the state. We will provide only 50%. You see, if that is the case, this program will definitely be affected and children will definitely be affected. This is the madness to ask the states to contribute 50% because in state governments it is not possible. They are interested in projects, they lay the roads, they construct buildings. They do such type of thing. This social surveys, nobody will do it because there's no way gives any returns. And nobody is bothered about this children and child nutrition. Probably we'll be hopeful and wait for the Poshan Abhiyan along with it, and the central government may also once again revive it. What is it you want to do a stunted? So far, so good things have happened. Children malnourishment totally controlled. Severe form of malnutrition is not there now, except a mild case of malnutrition for which we are maintaining this nutritional rehabilitation centers, etc. And if we suddenly stop the funds, you see, in addition to that, in some of the states and some of the religiously goodies, when this egg is not recommended because it affects the sensitivity of the child. If he eats egg, certain such things are there. Those things shall be corrected. And if you do not continue this program, it is just madness. You will produce stunted children, you will produce emaciated children, you will produce idiotic children because of lack of growth or development, etc. The things will very severely be affected. And so the consolidated and coordinated effort of Health Department, Women and Child Department, Ministry of Broadcasting, Rural Water Supply Department, Social Welfare Department, And in villages, panchayat secretary, of course, these PHCs and sub-centers, all these departments put together, they should come together. They should come together in an integrated manner. And if they, all the works are going in an integrated way, definitely the child will be provided with water, potable water for drinking. There's nutrition from the ICDS department. There are referral services for the child, either in diarrhea, pneumonia, or fever. From all these things, the child will have referral service will be provided. And non-formal education for the child. You see, non-formal education is being exploited in such a way that if you see in cities, there are preschools where they're collecting 1 lakh rupees for a year to just teach the child about non-formal education. Nothing but just necessary. The children will be playing with each other, and then that's all, nothing more than that. Somebody will be there to look after it. And for those services, some of even poor families thinking that if they admit their child in that particular school, they will see that child as a big officer like a collector or a superintendent of police or a doctor or an engineer like that. Because those children of those officers are studying. The particular wrong notion is they're selling away their properties even to admit the child there. But the same thing is we are getting in this Anganwadi center, where the Anganwadi teacher is being trained in a Montessori type of teaching, where the child, out of 3 or 4 hours staying there, taking away the meal time, the rest of the time she teaches them some rhymes, and there will be a lot of play material will be there. Play material is available there. So with this play material, she will be examining the coordinated movements of the child. They is able to absorb the teaching and will be able to express. Sometimes she shows various colors and says, this is the blue, this is the red, this is the white, like that. And again, she will ask the children one by one, what is this color? And all the children will be able to say, and one child may not be able to say that again. That child will be asked, why, how you committed this wrong, why you cannot remember this, you have to remember this is white color. Like that, there will be letters. There will be letters from 1 to some 9 like that. And suddenly the teacher asks, you put 9, by the side of the 9, you put 2. Then the child will be able to identify the 9 figure and then 2 figure, and both of them club together and show that it's a 92 number. So like that, non-formal education is also there in that particular program. So ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, and its peripheral organ, which is called Anganwadi Center, Women and Child Welfare Department at this central level, are wonderful arrangement. It is a wonderful arrangement for our children. Hopefully, we see that all the children get this non-formal education, particularly nutrition, every child up to 5 years, so that the brain development will not be affected. What we are worrying is by 6th year, the brain development, almost 80% of the brain development is over. So during that period, the child shall not suffer from any malnutrition. That is the objective, that is the motive of the government to propagate this particular scheme. It was way back in 1975 they started experimentally in small areas, some 100 blocks, and I found there was a lot of change. monitoring of growth chart and height for weight, all these things. It is giving good results. And children also intelligent and socially they are better off when compared to other children. So finally, government came to a conclusion to introduce this particular program. And now today, entire country is covered by all these Anganwadi centers, ICDS centers. There will be supervisor, there will be district rural development officer. He will be supervising officer. There is also director of the Women and Child Welfare Department. There is also, as I said, there is a lot of convergence. There must be convergence. There will be wherever the health and sanitation committee meetings are going or integration meetings are going, definitely these people, this teacher, Anganwadi teachers should attend and try to imbibe certain things from other departments also. And with the coordinated effort, she must be able to bring up the children. That is the topic today. We will meet in the next class.